There is a county in the United States where cows outnumber people. Not by a little. Not 2 to 1. Not even 10 to 1. In this county, there are roughly 62 cattle for every human being. That means if every resident stood in the middle of a field and looked around, statistically speaking, they would be surrounded by enough cattle to fill a small sports arena. The place is Petroleum County, Montana. It has only a little over 500 residents. But it has more than 30,000 cattle. On paper, that sounds like an agricultural success story. Wide open grazing land, a huge livestock industry, a landscape that looks built for ranching. And in many ways, it is a success story. But the numbers hide something more complicated. Because this is not simply a place with a lot of cows. It is a place with very few people. A place where the main town is tiny. Where schools, hospitals, shops, roads, and local services all have to function across huge distances. A place where ranches can cover thousands of acres, but the human population keeps getting harder to sustain. So, how did one of America's great agricultural landscapes end up with so few people? Why can a county support tens of thousands of cattle, but barely enough residents to fill a medium-sized apartment building? And what does this strange cow-to-human ratio reveal about the larger story of rural America? Welcome to Geoparadox, the why behind the where. Today, we're going to ground level in the Great Plains to explore the U.S. county where the cattle won. Petroleum County sits in central Montana, in a landscape shaped by wide grasslands, rolling hills, coulees, and big sky. It is not a place most Americans could point to on a map. And that is part of the story. The county is physically large, but it has almost no people. Its county seat, Winnett, is a small community surrounded by vast areas of ranch land. There are no major cities nearby. No interstate slicing directly through the county. No large university pulling in thousands of students. No major airport. No dense manufacturing corridor. Just miles and miles of country where the land is mostly used for one thing: raising cattle. Petroleum County has roughly 500 residents and more than 32,000 cattle. That works out to approximately 62 cattle for every person, one of the most dramatic ratios in the country. But here's the important part. The cattle are not packed into one massive field. They are spread across huge ranches, on land that often cannot support much else. This landscape is not empty by accident. It is empty because its geography produces a very particular kind of economy. One that requires a great deal of land, but not necessarily a great many people. At first glance, the Great Plains can look simple. Flat land, grass, sky. But this is one of the most misunderstood environments in North America. The Great Plains are not empty because the soil is worthless. They are not empty because people never tried to settle here. And they are not empty because the land has no economic value. The land has enormous value, it just has a type of value that does not create dense cities. In much of ranch country, rainfall is too limited, or too inconsistent, for intensive crop farming to be reliable everywhere. Some years may be good, others may bring drought. A landscape that can support native grasses may not be able to support cornfields, suburbs, or a large population living on small plots of land. But grass has an advantage. Cattle can eat it. In effect, ranching turns land that may be difficult to farm intensively into food. A cow can convert sparse grass into beef. And this is why the Great Plains became cattle country. The region does not need to be lush. It needs enough grass, enough water, and enough space. The problem is that enough space is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Because when grass is thin, cattle must spread out. And when cattle spread out, the people managing them spread out too. In a wetter climate, a relatively small area can support many animals, but in drier grassland, one cow may require a surprising amount of land. The exact amount changes depending on rainfall, grass quality, season, grazing practices, and local conditions. But the principle is simple. Less grass per acre means more acres per animal, and more acres per animal means fewer people per square mile. This is the hidden geography behind Petroleum County's cow-to-human ratio. The county has room for thousands of cattle because it has an enormous amount of open rangeland. But a ranch with thousands of cattle does not necessarily need thousands of workers. Modern ranching is land-intensive, not labor-intensive. A family operation might manage land measured in thousands of acres. It may use trucks, trailers, fences, water tanks, feed systems, GPS, veterinary services, and machinery. But it may still employ only a relatively small number of people. That is the paradox. The cattle may be everywhere, but the jobs are not. And without a large number of jobs, there is no reason for a large number of people to live nearby. To understand why so few people live here now, we have to remember that the Great Plains were once imagined very differently. For generations, settlers looked at this land and saw opportunity. The federal government encouraged homesteading. Railroads promoted Western settlement. Families arrived hoping to claim land, build a home, and create a future. Small communities appeared. Schools opened. Post offices were established. Churches, general stores, and grain elevators followed. For a while, it seemed possible that the plains might fill up. But the Great Plains had rules of their own. Rainfall was unpredictable. Drought could destroy a family's plans in a single season. Farming methods designed for wetter places often failed in dry country. Wind erosion became a serious danger when fragile grassland was plowed too aggressively. And, over time, many small farms simply could not survive. The people did not vanish overnight, but the settlement pattern began to thin. Families left. Young people moved toward larger towns, cities, universities, and jobs elsewhere. Schools consolidated, businesses closed, and what remained was a landscape where ranching often made more economic sense than trying to sustain a dense grid of small farms. The Great Plains did not reject human settlement completely. They filtered it. They favored fewer, larger operations spread across greater distances. Then came technology. In the past, large ranches required more hands. Moving cattle was harder. Checking fences took longer. Water systems required more manual work. Communication was slower. Travel was more difficult. Today, a rancher can cover huge distances in a pickup. They can monitor weather forecasts from a phone. They can communicate by radio or satellite. They can use machinery to move hay, repair fences, manage feed, and transport livestock. Some operations use GPS systems, digital records, remote cameras, and automated water monitoring. Technology has made ranching more efficient, but efficiency has a human cost. When fewer people can manage the same amount of land and livestock, fewer people are needed in the county. The cattle industry may remain productive. It may even grow in financial value. But that does not mean the population grows with it. This is a pattern seen across many rural areas. Economic output and population are not the same thing. A county can produce millions of dollars in beef, grain, oil, or minerals while still losing residents. A ranch can function with a small number of people. A town cannot. A town needs enough residents to support a grocery store, enough families to keep a school open, enough patients to justify a clinic, enough customers for a mechanic, cafe, pharmacy, and hardware store, enough taxpayers to maintain roads, emergency services, public buildings, and water systems. That is where rural depopulation becomes more than a statistic. At a certain point, the loss of population creates a feedback loop. Fewer people means fewer services. Fewer services make it harder for families to stay. Fewer families mean less demand for businesses. Less demand means more closures. and every closure makes the next departure slightly more likely. This does not mean small towns are doomed. Many remain resilient. People create strong community ties in places like Petroleum County. They support local schools, volunteer fire departments, ranching traditions, and neighbors separated by long distances. But resilience is not the same as growth, and the challenge is structural. When a county has more than 30,000 cattle, but only a few hundred people, the basic infrastructure of community life becomes difficult to sustain. A cow does not need a school. A cow does not need a hospital. A cow does not stop at a local restaurant. Cattle support the economy, but they do not replace a human population. In cities, distance is often measured in minutes. In rural Montana, distance is measured in planning. A trip to buy supplies, see a doctor, attend a sports game, repair equipment, or catch a flight may require hours of driving. Winter weather can make that harder. So can road conditions, so can fuel costs, so can simply being far from everything. This is the distance tax. It is not a formal tax paid to the government, it is the cost of living far from services. Every gallon of fuel costs more because you need more of it. Every repair takes longer. Every delivery is more complicated. Every specialist is farther away. Every emergency has a greater geographic challenge built into it. For a business owner, this can make operating expensive. For a young family, it can make staying difficult. For an older resident, it can make access to healthcare and support more complicated. And for young adults deciding where to build a life, the calculation is often straightforward. Move away, and you may find more jobs, more education, more housing options, more services, and more people your age. Stay, and you may gain space, independence, community, and connection to the land, but you may have fewer choices. That is not a moral failure. It is geography shaping opportunity. It would be easy to tell this story as if cattle somehow replaced people. But that is not really what happened. The cows did not cause rural depopulation. They are evidence of the landscape's adaptation. When small-scale farming struggled, ranching offered a way to make use of dry grassland. When communities thinned out, ranches often became larger. When labor became expensive and scarce, operations became more mechanized. The cattle remained because they fit the land. The people left because the modern economy increasingly rewarded concentration. Factories cluster near transportation hubs. Universities cluster in cities. Hospitals centralize. Professional jobs concentrate in metropolitan regions. Young workers move toward places with more options. This is happening in many countries, not just in Montana. But in the Great Plains, the effect is unusually visible. The open landscape turns a demographic trend into a visual fact. You can drive for miles and see fences, grass, cattle, and sky. Then finally reach a town so small that one closed business can change the whole feel of the place. Petroleum County is extreme, but it is not unique. Across the Great Plains, there are counties where cattle dramatically outnumber people. Montana as a whole still has more cattle than residents, though the gap has narrowed as the state's human population has grown. Nebraska is another striking example of the scale of the cattle economy, with a beef industry reporting more than 6 million cattle statewide, alongside enormous areas of rangeland and pasture. But ratios vary enormously inside every state. A large city can make people outnumber cattle by a wide margin. A remote ranching county can flip that relationship completely. That is why the county scale matters. It reveals a different America from the one visible in national population maps. A country where land is still the dominant force. Where the economic logic of a place is shaped by grass, water, rainfall, and distance. And where the primary inhabitants of the landscape may be livestock rather than people. The phrase rural decline can sound cold and final. It can make a place seem like a problem to be solved, or a relic of the past. But that misses what counties like Petroleum County actually are. They are living communities. They have histories, families, land stewardship practices, local knowledge, traditions that exist nowhere else. The story is not that rural Americans are somehow failing to keep up. The story is that modern systems are designed to reward density. Cities benefit from momentum. Rural counties must work against it. And yet, rural areas produce things cities depend on: food, energy, water, minerals, open land, wildlife habitat, and the cultural landscapes that many Americans think of when they imagine the country itself. So the goal should not be to turn every ranching county into a city. That would ignore the geography. The goal is to understand that places like Petroleum County serve a vital role, even if they do not fit our usual definition of growth. Could rural places like Petroleum County reverse their population decline? Possibly in some ways. Technology may reduce some of the distance tax. Satellite internet can connect remote homes and businesses. Remote work may allow some people to live farther from cities. Telemedicine can improve access to healthcare. New energy projects, tourism, conservation work, and recreation may create opportunities. But none of these changes erase the fundamental geography. The land remains dry, the distances remain huge, the population remains scattered. And cattle ranching will likely continue to require more land than labor. The future may not be a return to the crowded homesteading era. It may be a different kind of rural stability. Smaller populations, more technology, more specialized economies. A renewed focus on preserving services and supporting the people who choose to stay. The Great Plains are not going to become the Northeast, and they should not have to. Their value comes from being different. In Petroleum County, Montana, cows outnumber people by roughly 62 to 1. It is a strange statistic. It makes a great headline. But behind it is a much bigger story. A story about land that can grow grass more easily than cities. A story about ranches that need acres, not office buildings. A story about technology allowing fewer people to manage more territory. A story about small towns trying to sustain community across enormous distances. And a story about the quiet demographic shift that has reshaped much of rural America. The county is not empty because it has no purpose. It is empty because its purpose does not require many people. It feeds a country that mostly lives somewhere else. That is the geoparadox. In one of the world's richest and most developed countries, there are still places where the landscape is so vast and the economy so land-intensive that cattle become the dominant population. Not because people disappeared completely, but because the land made room for a different kind of life. Thanks for watching Geoparadox. The why behind the where? If this one got you thinking, drop a comment and let me know. Is there a county or region near you where the numbers tell a stranger story than the map lets on? I read every one. Subscribe for more stories about the strange patterns hidden behind population maps, borders, landscapes, and the forces that decide where people live and where they don't.